Welcome back once again to the Dr. Balmer channel. In this series of GPU overclocking adventures featuring the ASUS GTX 950 graphics card, we have reached great success, but we haven't really given up yet, and we haven't yet hit a wall on GPU offset frequency for the VRAM. So in the last episode we ended up at a memory offset clock of 500 megahertz, and in FireStrike that resulted in a score of 2,508 points. Now we won't stop until we hit some kind of a wall, and even then we'll see what options we have to push on even further. Unfortunately, I do not have access to any particularly exotic cooling or anything like that, but we will do what we can with the tools that we have. And we have already reached the top score, of course, for time spy using this CPU and GPU, but we still haven't reached the top score for FireStrike. So that is our main objective, to get as close as we can and hopefully take the crown there. So let's get right into it. So 2,508 points we had, and that was on 500 offset on the clock for memory and 195 offset on the core. We will continue by increasing by 50 megahertz steps, I think, like this, and we'll simply run the FireStrike 1080p offset, benchmark offset, yeah. So let's see how this turns out. 1 minute has almost passed and the benchmark is therefore almost over. So far we are running good. Okay, we have a score, and it is 2,519 points. Okay, great. So we're still increasing in points, which is very good, and I haven't seen any memory artifacting yet in FireStrike, at least. And comparing our scores, 2508 on 500 mem offset versus 2519 on 550 memory offset. So that's 11 points, so not bad for a 50 megahertz memory offset. Great, so let's get right into 3DMark and see if we see any gains there. As usual, let's start with FireStrike, and this is where we are really hoping to close in on the top scores. Once this is run, we will compare the values and see how close we are. scores are in, and 5635. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is quite a bit higher, and than our previous highest score, which was 5599, if I am not mistaken. We shall of course check this. Also, yeah, I looked at the frame counter and I saw that on the first graphics test, we ended up rendering just over 1000 frames, which I haven't seen before. So I pretty much had a hunch that this should be a good run. So let's compare this score. Okay, I wasn't exactly correct there on the 5599. There was such a score, but that was some time ago on 350 mm offset. However, we had 5616 on 500 offset, and now we have a 5635. The GPU score, we gained 65 points there, which is, I mean, really nice. And the physics score increased a little bit as well. The combined score fell a bit. I believe we are within variance here, perhaps, but the GPU score is definitely higher. Yes, very good actually. We can compare the scores online and see how we rank there. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We are placed in 7th place. We can see that the graphics score of 7415 is higher than most of the higher ranking results, except for the highest one. But still we are losing in overall points here. So physics score is a bit lower, and overall score as well. If we look here to the right, we can see that our CPU clock is lower than the higher ranked results. GPU core is decent, however. It's higher than the other results here at the top. And yeah, the memory clock, we have 1928 for this run, and we can see that others do have slightly higher clocks here for memory, so we should have a little bit of headroom left, but it all of course depends on the silicon lottery and things like that. Okay, but let's jump right into TimeSpy and find out if it will react in a similar fashion as FireStrike did. Okay, so now artifacting yet, at least. That's a good start. But let's see if we gained anything. $2,092 points, and this is currently the best score in 3DMark Hall of Fame once again. So we have extended our lead, at least. Let's see by how much. Well, we only gained 2 overall points for times by, but the GPU score actually advanced by 8 points, but the CPU score fell back a bit. 1948, that was the same score we got way back on 275 mem, but I believe that these values are pretty much in variance here, so another run would probably yield a bit different result perhaps. But the good thing is that we are indeed advancing, even though not by much currently. If we can hit 2100, that would be kind of a good target. And the GPU score is increasing, not by a whole lot, but I mean, we increased by 7 points from 450 to 550 mem, 450 to 500 mem, and we gained 8 points with the next 15 megahertz. So that's linear scaling so far here. All right, great. Let's go back into precision and set a memory offset of 600. And well, it feels like we are approaching some kind of a limit, perhaps, considering the other scores. We might have a little headroom left, but the question is how much. So I will let this run, and then we will inspect the scores once it has finished. The benchmark is finishing now, and the score is 2518. Didn't we have 2519 on 550 offset? Let's have a look. Yes, indeed. We had 2519 on 550 offset, and now we have 2518 on 2519 we had on 550, and 2518 we got now on 600 offset. So this is interesting. This is the first time we do not gain any points in the FireStrike bench after a memory clock increase, as far as I can remember. However, I mean, the increase might be within variance, or the difference in results rather. So let's run 3DMark again and see what happens there. Starting once again with the FireStrike. So we had 5635 points, I believe, on 550 offset, and the top score is 5725, I believe. So we'll have less than 100 points to gain. It might not seem like a whole lot, but we also might be running out of steam if we are not a bit lucky here. because considering the other submitted scores, the memory clock they achieved was about in this range. Alright, scores are incoming, and 5677. Wow, that actually did a whole lot, perhaps. Okay, let's have a look. GPU clock frequency, memory clock frequency 1951, almost 1952. That's definitely higher. Let's bring up some comparison numbers. So what FireStrike didn't react too positively on actually turned out to be quite the run for FireStrike. So we went from 5635 to 5677 on the 50 megahertz additional offset on the memory, and the GPU score went from 7415 to 7447. Physics score also increased to the highest for a long time, since 100 mem offset, I think, yes. And we have a combined score of 2221, which I believe is the highest we've had. Yeah, great. And I mean, the best score is 5725, so we are not far away now. I remain a bit positive about this, but let's continue as usual with the time spy and see if we can reach what was it, 2100 overall points for time spy, which would be nice. We already have the top score there, but extending the lead is also very important to maintain the lead in the future. So let's see if we are able to do that to an even further extent. Okay, 2098. Oof, that's close. 2 points off. So it's definitely the highest score so far we have achieved on Time Spy. Let's look at the numbers. Yeah, the increase was larger than going from 500 to 550 when going from 550 to 600. So we gained 6 points. And GPU score gained 3 points, and then 20 points for the CPU. Alright, 2 points off. So I think we are almost there. But also we might be almost there on the memory offset that we can handle. I will try 650. Well, who knows what will happen. Only one way to find out, right? We start off with FireStrike, and yeah, let's see what we get. The benchmark is finishing, and the score is 2514. Very interesting. So we have once again a bit lower score here from previous runs, when compared to previous runs. So let's check it out. Yeah, on 600 offset on the memory we had 2518, and on 550 offset we had 2519. I mean, it seems like it's not a whole lot of difference here, but lost 4 points now when we went to 650 offset. Well, I mean, higher scores would have been nice, but the question is this an indication of memory error or something? I don't know, really. But we will run 3DMark, and perhaps we can find out there if we see some artifacting or if we get a crash or something during the benchmark. Firing up FireStrike. Alright, and we are back. So 5691. I believe that is better than we had, and oh, it is very close to the best score of 5725. Let's have a look. Yes, it is indeed better. So 5691, and previously on 600 mm offset we had 5677. The GPU score has passed 7500 points by 1 point. Physics score fell back a bit, and the combined score fell back a bit from previous run. But the overall points, yeah, we are really close now. I mean, yeah, 34 points or something like that. And well, the question is, can we reach it and beat it? Well, that's gonna go maybe hard. Let's look online actually and see if we how we compare to the top scores now. Oh, we are 5th actually, and we don't need a whole lot of points to get to bronze level. that one we should have within reach, I would suspect. Yeah, our memory clock was 1978, and considering that the higher ranked scores had a lower memory clock, we might be in a bit of trouble. The top score here has some strange values. I don't think these are correct, perhaps. But nevertheless, we shall not stop, and instead we shall move on to Time Spy, of course. And hopefully we will get a good run here without artifacting or crashing. Well, have a look at that. 2102 points. That is the highest score we have posted. It is the highest score for this CPU and GPU combination reported in 3DMark for Time Spy. And it is a score higher than 2100 points. And this is actually an achievement, and I am very happy we reached that. So let's compare the numbers with our previous runs. Yes, so we gained 4 points overall, but we actually gained quite a few points on the GPU score, which I believe is the most important one to look here for progress on if we are doing better or worse than previously. So going from 550 to 600 mem, we gained only 3 GPU points, but now we gained 9 points or so. And yeah, the CPU score fell back a bit, and that perhaps also limited the overall score increase. Alright, well, that shouldn't stop us, should it? So let's actually once again go back into precision and set a memory offset of 700. And we are at unknown territory. benchmark is finishing. Let's see what that will yield us. $25.28 points. Alright, so actually that is once again a higher score. Let's check it out. Yes, so on our previous run with 650 offset we had 25.14 and our absolute highest score was 25.19, and now we got 25.28. So once again we're seeing an increase, and that makes me optimistic, because if we quickly switch over to 3DMark, could we perform the FireStrike run of our lives here? Well, okay, maybe that was a bit dramatic, but yeah, getting the top score would be nice. I shouldn't say anything else, actually. Right, FireStrike it is. It might of course be that even if we get a higher score here and don't crash or get memory artifacting, maybe we won't gain so many points. We need 30 something, right? And the question is if we can achieve that with another 50 megahertz on the mem offset. But let's find out. Okay, scores are incoming. Ooh, all right. We are almost there. 57.11. And we need 57.25 or more. So now we are not far off. I mean, 14 points. Ooh, that's close. Let's compare with our previous numbers. Yeah, this has turned out into quite the interesting journey. On 700 mem we got 57.11, so that's 20 points right there, and we only need 14 points, right, to get the top score, at least to share the top score. So another 50 megahertz increase, if we don't crash, we should be good. But yeah, GPU score went up a bit, physics score almost the same, and the combined score did increase. So a very good run, actually. But as you can see here, we are at 2 gigahertz memory clock frequency. So I'm not too optimistic about our continued success here. But let's not yeah, actually let's compare online and see if we are in the top 3 or not. You know what? Currently we're in the silver position, placed number 2. So we only have one more score to beat, and then, yeah, then happiness, basically. So we can see that, yeah, our memory frequency is way higher than most of the other scores I can see here, actually. Ooh, someone here had 2052, but a much lower overall score. So yeah, so it could be possible that we can reach the top score with another increase of memory offset. But yeah, so if I want to compare our values with the top score and see how much it actually differs. Okay, so the top score is on the left, and our score is on the right. We can see that we have a slightly higher CPU frequency. We have a slightly lower GPU core frequency. The difference is like in the different scores here for the benchmark tests. I mean, it differs 0.1 to 0.7%. So we are close. We are really close. And yeah, we have a much higher memory frequency than a top score performer. But yeah, currently, so the GPU core clock is higher, but we weren't stable in time spy on a higher core clock than this, a 195 offset. So I'm thinking I want to find the limits of core and memory separately, so we know what causes an eventual crash. But yeah, let's keep pushing it. This video is kind of long, I know, but we are so close now, and I want to see what happens, and I hope you also want to see what happens at 750 memory offset. Starting with FireStrike, just to see. What will happen. And the benchmark is finishing, and so far it looks good. And the scores 2528. I wonder, is that the exact same score we had previously, perhaps? Let's check it out. Yeah, so we got the exact same score. I'm changing the results here, different tabs, and we have the same score. So okay, but we haven't at least regressed in scores, and we have seen FireStrike do this before, haven't we? So let's switch over to 3DMark. Okay, firing up FireStrike. Is this the gold run, or will this fail? Let's find out. Oh, I have a good feeling about this. Let's wait and see. Um, 5706. That is. Let's see here. That is lower. We had 5711. And we didn't quite reach up to that this time. Let's see what the numbers say. So at first glance, it doesn't look too good that we lost some points here. But we should actually keep in mind that the GPU score did increase from previous run at 700 memory offset. It's the physics score that sort of it sort of took the victory from us. And the combined score was higher as well. So yeah, the physics score here didn't do us a favor. Alright, perhaps we need some more frequency on the CPU actually, but it might also be run-to-run variance. But let's run TimeSpy and see if it behaves in the same way, or if it passes or not, and if we gain points or lose points. We seem to have passed, perhaps. Yeah, we have. So now we have 2109, which is a new highest score actually. Previous was 2102. So we are still increasing. Perhaps we had a bad run in FireStrike. So yeah, but let's compare our scores from previous runs. Yeah, I noticed that I don't have a result written down for 700 mem offset. And looking in the 3DMark Hall of Fame here at the top, I can see that the 3 latest scores are these ones. So maybe we didn't run TimeSpy at 700. I'm not sure actually now that I'm recording this, but oh well, it's not a huge deal. So we still gained 7 points here, and the GPU gained a little bit, and the CPU gained also a little bit. Yeah, so should we try 800? I think we should. So this video is quite long now. So 800 will be the final try in this video. Let's see here. 2527. I believe we had 2528 previously. That is actually correct. We had 2528 previously, and now we have 2527. But okay, we shouldn't worry too much. We have seen this before. So let's move on to 3DMark. Alright, loading the final run for this video of FireStrike. I really hope we can see some improvement and that we don't crash here. But we are at very high memory frequencies now. Right, scores are incoming. Let's see here. Ooh, 5720 points. That is higher once again. No question about that. But it isn't high enough for reaching the top score. We are 5 points off. 5. But okay. Let's bring up the scores sheet. Yeah. This should be 800, right? And well, what do we see here? We gained a few points. Our highest score was 5711, then we dropped to 5706, and now we're at 5720. GPU score has increased to 7525. Physics score has increased a bit since last run, and the combined score is pretty much the same. It's 1 point lower, so that's definitely variance. Yeah, 5 points off. But it means that we are really close. However, let's run Time Spy as well and see if we are still stable. I believe Time Spy might be. I mean, we crashed on Time Spy on 200 MHz core offset at least, which we didn't do on FireStrike, so maybe Time Spy is the benchmark for stability then. But on the other hand, maybe FireStrike is more VRAM dependent. I don't know. Let's run and find out. The run has finished, and what do we get? Yeah, 2115. That is a new highest score, and it's actually pleasing to see. I mean, we did gain in FireStrike, and we continue to extend our lead here for Time Spy. So let's see here. All right, and yeah, GPU score increased by 4 points. The CPU score increased a little bit as well. In total, we increased by 6 points. I mean, that's more percentually to increase by 6 points when the total scores are in the range of 2000 than increasing 6 points in FireStrike, for instance, where the scores are at 5700 or something. So it's a decent increase actually, and we are at 800 memory offset, and I would trust me, I would continue this video forever if needed to reach the top score and hopefully beat it for FireStrike. But this video is very long now, and thank you to all of you who have suffered through it together with me, although I haven't really suffered because I really enjoy this, and like the hardware enthusiast that I am, I suspect that you also are if you're watching this video. So anyway, yeah, there will be a next video basically, and I really think and hope that unless someone submits a higher score for FireStrike, then we should somehow, in one way or another, beat it. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. Leave any comments you have below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.